There's a great study that was conducted at Princeton University where people were randomly assigned a high or low score on a social intelligence test. And then they were asked whether the test was fair and useful. Now, you won't be surprised if I tell you that subjects who were given the high scores rated the test both as fairer and more useful than people who received the low scores. When asked if there was a chance that their assessment was influenced by their scores, most people didn't think so. But they were quick to assume that other participants could have been biased by their performance scores. This tendency to easily recognize the potential for, or even the presence of bias in others, but to not catch it for yourself, is called the bias blind spot. And in the work I do with gender equity and inclusion, it comes up an awful lot. The interesting thing about biases is that just knowing that you've got them isn't actually enough to make you snap out of it. Several studies have found that even when people admit to being biased due to belonging to one interest group or another, they rationalize that that bias makes them a better decision maker, more educated, and therefore more enlightened. In life and in business, when you fall for the bias blind spot, you're deceiving yourself into thinking that you're wise enough to spot cognitive biases, when in fact, you're better at seeing bias in others and not necessarily for yourself. So, how can you avoid the blind spot bias? I have two suggestions. First, buddy up. This is something I often recommend to teams and organizations who are working to create more inclusive and discrimination-free work environments. Since we're all pretty bad at seeing our own bias, but we're experts at spotting bias in others, why not pair up with a colleague whose job it is to keep you fair, balanced, and honest in your thinking? If for one reason or another, having an accountability partner is not in the cards for you, well, start with this course. Create a list of the 10 biases I shared with you here. Then build on that list. Sadly, there are dozens more biases out there. When you have a big decision to make, take a few minutes and consider how each of the biases that we described today could be impacting your thinking and your problem solving. Yes, I know it's a lot of work, but like most things in life, the more you practice it, the better you'll become at catching and bypassing your biases. And the reward will be sounder, more effective, and impactful decision making for you.